What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some interesting stuff that I'm seeing in the NBA card market. Also, some of the issues and injuries that are going on in the NFL right now. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you are a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Daily Nonsense content. Let's get into the episode. So there is definitely a chance here that I am looking into this a little bit too much. But something that I noticed in all of Panini's advertising for their Panini Instant cards and some of the 2025 draft classes is that Cooper Flagg has not been used in any of this advertising. I don't exactly know what that means, but just based on the fact that I understand marketing, why wouldn't you market the biggest player in this draft in what is probably the last sets that you're going to be selling for basketball? 2024 Flawless basketball first off the line has gone up at auction. I don't know if it's sold yet or not, but Flawless is usually the last set of last year's basketball cards that comes out before they start coming out with new products. And as we know, in this year, in October, which I can't believe that that's already coming up, in October, Topps is taking over the NBA license. The one thing that I think is most confusing to me in this circumstance is that I do not know whether that means that 2025-26 rookies are still going to be getting Panini cards. Like, are we going to get a Topps Chrome and a Panini Prism Cooper Flagg card? I kind of hope maybe we do. I mean, I would like to see. Prism is obviously the biggest product, and that's one that I really like. So I would like to see a Cooper Flagg Prism card, but we have not seen any promotion of the new products in any of the tweets that Panini is putting out. And like I said, maybe I am looking into this a little bit too much, but like, why wouldn't you, if you're trying to sell something to somebody, why wouldn't you use the player who is the biggest name in any of the sets? Not even just like every promotion, but like they're not using him in anything. So it's a little bit confusing to me. I don't know why they're doing that. Like I said, I also don't know. I looked this up and it seemed like on the Blowout Forum, people were still a little bit confused. I don't think we've seen one way or the other. Like, I know we are getting Cooper Flagg Topps Chrome cards because we've seen, I think that there was a tweet that somebody put out, and that was either an image either from Reddit or somebody at one of the distribution companies. They put out an image of what the packs are going to look like. And Cooper Flagg is actually on the cover of the Topps Chrome packs. So we know we're getting Topps Chrome Cooper Flagg. We don't know if we're going to be getting any Panini Cooper Flagg cards, though. There are potentially some that exist in some of these Panini Instant sets that they're selling, but we have not gotten confirmation, at least from what I have seen. We have not gotten confirmation one way or the other whether this new draft class after October is going to be getting product. Because I think the question that I have is, the licensing ending, does that mean they cannot come out with any more products? Or are they putting out all of their draft products, and are they producing all of their products right now? And even though October, whatever the date is in October, Topps will be taking over, they can produce these cards up until that date and then come out with the cards during the season. I think that is probably my biggest question for basketball cards in the next month or so, as we see once the calendar switches to October. I would imagine Topps ends up starting to do some of their promotion. Maybe they're waiting until the clock or the calendar turns over to do some of this promotion, because that's sort of my other thing with Topps here is we have not seen a ton of promotion of their upcoming products for basketball. So I'm just confused. Like, we are about a month away probably from the start of the season. I think training camps and preseason probably starts in the next couple of weeks for the NBA. So I just don't know where these products are or where the promotion for these products are, because in years past we've seen 6 months ahead of time they'll come out with the design. And I know that there was a leaked image of the design of Topps Chrome, but Topps putting out their images and Panini putting out their images, I think, are much different than what happened was a player was signing cards and put it on his Instagram story. Another part of this is that the WNBA is starting their awards, and Paige Bueckers wins Rookie of the Year. That's not super surprising to me. I mean, she was probably far and away the best rookie this year. Is she going to be an MVP candidate in the next couple of years? I don't really know. With Caitlin Clark being out, obviously, that is bringing down some of the excitement around the WNBA. But I think Paige Bueckers is just as exciting of a player as Caitlin Clark is. And I think that if Caitlin Clark or if Paige Bueckers had not gotten hurt during her second to last season before she won the national championship, I think that she would be just as big as Caitlin Clark. I think it would have been Caitlin Clark and her as like these two superstars. So I'm hoping maybe she goes on a little bit of a playoff run here with Dallas. That would be really cool. But I think we're also seeing with that, Panini put out some images similar to what I was talking about in the previous segment, where there were no images of these cards. Panini put out images of some of the case hits and some of the other cards that are going to be coming out for Paige Bueckers this year. For potentially one of the first times, I actually learned something from someone commenting on one of my TikToks. So you probably saw, if you're watching this video or previous episodes, I talked about the debut patches and I was confused about where those were. I didn't really understand what was going on with them. And someone commented, a bunch of people actually commented, that those jerseys were given to the rookie players. They were given to the rookies after their rookie game. And I was like, because sometimes people will just say these things in the comments and I won't know like what they're talking about. But in this circumstance, I asked one of the people, where did you see that? And they commented that at the beginning of the 2023 season, the NFL actually put out a memo to the world, I guess, or like some sort of operations memo that said that they were using these debut patches and that the jerseys were going to be given to the players, which I was skeptical when I heard the comment that players were just going to be getting these jerseys. And that may be because like in the NBA, a lot of the players have to give their jerseys back because, or some of the jerseys at least, to the league, and they get sold through Sotheby's. I know that was a thing. So I was surprised that that was a thing that they were doing in the NFL. They were just giving these jerseys to the players, which I think is very cool. And that sort of answers my question of where those patches were. Again, I didn't know if it was a Topps thing or a NFL thing. Clearly, it's an NFL thing. They put out a whole press release about it, so now I know. But that being said, one of the big issues we have after the second week of the season are all of the quarterback injuries that we're seeing. Joe Burrow is going to be out for multiple months. Jaden Daniels is going to be out. JJ McCarthy, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy. All those players are going to be out for, Burrow out for a couple months. The other players, I guess we're still seeing a timetable, but it is one of the dangerous parts about buying those types of cards and buying NFL cards just in general. I'm skeptical about buying certain players' NFL cards. I think you really have to get farther along in their career, I think, to really figure out if you want to be buying those cards or not. I think Joe Burrow's injury is one of the more significant ones within the sports card industry, because they are saying that like a lot of the comparisons between Andrew Luck and Joe Burrow are actually pretty scary. And it's really going to come down to what Joe Burrow wants to do. From a card perspective, Joe Burrow was one of those hot players. You can even see in the background here, I have a Prism Blaster. Like his Prism cards when they first came out were like, those were selling like hotcakes. And I worry that if he continues to get injured, that eventually he's just going to retire. And he's going to turn into potentially like an Andrew Luck, who at one point, Andrew Luck was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And his cards were probably very popular. Now, I don't 100% remember if I was into sports cards when Andrew Luck retired, but I just know that like his cards were probably pretty hot, similar to Joe Burrow. But like if he just retires, not really out of nowhere necessarily, but if he just retires, I do worry what will happen to his cards versus like if you were to even buy Andrew Luck or you were to buy like a Geno Smith or somebody else in the league. Like there's probably Geno Smith is maybe not the best example, but there are other players that you may want to look at. If you have Burrow cards, it might be a good idea to move out of some of those. Or maybe you're looking at it and saying, well, they can't go any lower at this point because of his injuries. So I don't know, maybe they're worth keeping, but it is something to definitely take a look at if you own any of his cards. That's all we've got for today's show. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. Also, come back to the Sports Card Nonsense YouTube channel every day for daily nonsense. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.